Initially, my vision was to pay the bills because on day one, when I walked in the door as an owner, I had $1 million worth of debt and I had $10,000 in the bank. And we were pretty scared. I mean, we were very motivated to make this work. Oh my God, like everyone was saying yes, and all of a sudden I was too busy. I was just running all day and checking 2 or 3 hygienists, and it was a lot. As a young dentist who had a lot of debt, it was nice to make really good money, but it was a pace. After a couple of years, I decided I couldn't maintain that pace for like even another 5 years, let alone 20 or 25 years. And so that's when we stopped. We kind of blew it all up to a degree and started over. God, that's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. I think it did actually, because, neither my wife nor I grew up, in wealthy families or anything like that. It was more money than we ever imagined making, as a couple. And it happened like right away. And so yeah, I guess it did, but it was nice not to be stressed about it, or 1999 to 2020. Like we never had a worry about anything because we never had a hard time making payroll or paying a bill. We always had cash, piled up in the account, and it was great.
You said you went from burnout, your first practice, second practice, third practice. So from going from burnout to then expanding into 3 different offices, how?
So when I got to that point where I was burned out, I just couldn't run that pace anymore, and I felt like it was compromising relationships because I didn't have as much time with people, and that was really important to me. It's establishing relationships, not just rapport. And so I went crazy on the CE end then with my team. We were spending between $100,000 and $200,000 a year, dragging them all over the country, 250 to I think close to 400 one year, for about 4 or 5 years. During that time, like our income got cut in half almost, but it was worth it because it was a gradual process this time. But over time, we did develop the kind of practice that we wanted to have, which was really predicated on a lot of the clinical skills that I picked up during that CE period, and between that and me being a very social human and like having about 6 or 8 months where I wasn't socializing at all, it was really difficult. And to be honest, I got really depressed. I got to a point, Ellie, where I just didn't know what the heck I was going to do next. But I wasn't happy and I wasn't fulfilled, and that didn't really change until last summer. Thank goodness.